Welcome to Villamania YouTube channel. In today's tutorial, we are going to make this lovely peyote stitch bracelet, which is called Sunflower. It's the most popular bracelet in our collection, and it's featuring bright colors and the yellow petals of the sunflower standing outside of the edge. Let's do it. First, let's look into the materials we're going to need. We're going to use Miyuki Delica beads, 11 size, and we will need 5 colors. White, I'm going to use number 351. Yellow, actually you can use any yellow from Delica. I'm going to use number 1592. Black, I'm using usually this shiny black Miyuki number 10. And 2 shades of green. It's up to you which one to take. They must be contrasting enough. I'm going to use number 724, which is dark green. It's bright, but it's darker hue. And the lighter hue, I have some leftovers from this color. This is number 1536. So 5 different types of Miyuki Delica, 11 size. We're also going to use Miyuki thread, white, for this bracelet because bracelet is light and it has a lot of white background in it. And of course, Miyuki beading needles. I'm usually using the longer one. That's just a matter of habit. It's more comfortable for me to use this needle, but again, it's up to you. So any Miyuki needle will work for the peyote stitch, which we're going to do. You will also notice during the tutorial that my needle, which I'm using, is not as straight as it is coming from the package. Because when you're doing the peyote stitch, your needle must go through the beads and it's actually getting curved. So don't be surprised. I'm using my working needle. It's already curved enough, as you can see on the video. But again, your needle probably get the same shape by the end of this work. We'll need a pair of scissors, and then to make the ending of the bracelet and to make the clasp, we're also going to use some metallic fittings and tools. You will need 2 jump rings, preferably thin. I'm using the gold-plated thin jump rings. You can use any type of the clasp for the bracelet, like magnetic or toggler. I'm going to use this hook clasp. I like it, and it also comes together with additional ring to make your bracelet adjustable. And then to fix the rings and the clasp, you will need 2 pliers. I'm using this plier with the curved ending, and I'm also using the normal round pliers to fix. That's again just a habit. All the list of the materials you have in the description, and with that set of materials, we are ready to start making our bracelet. Before we start, we will really appreciate it if you can subscribe to our YouTube channel and get the bell to get the notifications about what's new, and of course like the channel and place your comments in case you want us to create more tutorials for other stuff we have. Let's now look into what peyote stitch is and how it's being formed from the perspective of the design. Peyote stitch is a special type of beading which places your beads in some sort of brick shape. As you can see on the drawing which I'm showing, each bead in the row is going to be placed as a brick on top of the other one. And of course, I'm going to show you in the next steps how to do it. But in general, the design of the peyote is looking like a brick wall. Every row consists, in our case, of 4 beads. And only for the first row, we will need to make 8 beads at the beginning. You will see it later on in the instruction how to do that. This is just a sample of a small peyote piece I've already made. Every time your thread goes out of the row, you return back and you're going through the previous row, adding additional beads, again in the shape of the brick wall. It will be hopefully much more clearer when we will go into the physical stitching. For every row of our bracelet, we're going to use 4 beads, and you can see again, as I'm showing to you on the video, your row will be 4 beads, which I marked with a dot right now. Then your thread goes out of the bracelet and you go into the next row, which I'm marking right now on the video with a cross. Then again, your thread goes out of the row, you go to the next one, which I'm right now marking with a check. In every row, therefore, we're going to have 4 beads plus sometimes 2 additional for the petals. Now let's look into the peyote pattern or scheme. Usually, you can buy the peyote patterns at Etsy. There are a lot of materials there. For this video, we will provide you with a PDF file with our Peyote Stitch scheme pattern for the specific bracelet. As I already mentioned, you're using 5 colors, each one of them on the schema marked with a specific letter. Each one has an exact description of which Miyuki Delica beads are using, and also have the number of the beads just in case you are trying to use some leftovers from some previous job. Also, you can see that, for example, the green is marked as green. It's going to be letter D in the scheme, and it's also described exactly the same number of the Miyuki Delica which I'm using. Same goes for the lighter green, etc. So in the scheme, all the colors are going to be marked with both color and letter for your convenience. So when you do peyoting, you won't be sort of lost where you are in the scheme. This is the scheme of peyote, common scheme. I'm doing them myself. Again, leave us a comment if you want me to make a tutorial on how to make a peyote stitch or scheme. We're going to be doing in the first part the rows of white. So we're going to peyote stitch 5 rows just made out of the white color. And then we'll come to this point where we will start adding colors. So let us start a peyote craft or peyote bracelet in our case. First, you need to pick up one bead of any contrasting color. I'm using blue because blue is not used in the bracelet, so it sort of stands outside of my work. This is going to be our stop bead, which allows all the other beads not to slide and not to be lost. So you put one bead onto the thread, and then you move your needle around and get it through the bead. Take a thread, pull it over, and you fix your stop bead so it's not moving around. That's just, it's unnecessary for the stitch itself. It's just the stop bead which is allowing your beads not to fall down. We're going to make first 2 rows. That's why we need 8 beads at the beginning of peyote stitch work. So count your first 2 rows. In our case, that's 8 white beads. You put all your 8 white beads on the needle all together, and you slide them through the thread until they reach your blue stop bead. So all 8 beads at the same time. Now we're going to make the row number 3. For that, we take 1 bead, we slide the first bead from the thread, and we put our needle through the second bead in a row. Pull the thread through. And now you see, because Delica is very high quality cylindric beads, they will shape some sort of very small T letter, which will start forming our future peyote sort of brick wall. You slide the bead number 3, take 1, put your needle through the bead number 4. Pull the thread, and you already start seeing shaping the future rows of your peyote. You slide the bead number 5, sort of skip it, take 1 bead, put your needle through the bead number 6. You have 2 beads left, so you skip the bead number 7, take 1 bead, and put your needle through the bead number 8. So now we have the first 3 rows of our bracelet all made in white. You can also slide your stop bead just to be a bit closer to your work so that the beads are stable and they're not moving around. And now you can see that you've shaped some sort of a brick wall, and now in every next row you're going to be using just 4 beads. We are going to make the row number 4. So you take 1 bead and put your needle through the next bead which stands out. You take 1 more bead and you put the needle from the next bead which is standing out of your brick wall. You repeat it for the bead number 3. And finally, we do the same for our last bead in a row, which is the bead 4. Here are the first 4 rows of our future bracelet. I'll just add one more white row, and with that we can move and start adding the colors. All right, we made our first 5 rows of white beads. And if you look into the scheme, you will see that there is an arrow which is marking the place where we will start adding the coloring bead into our work. So right now, as I'm showing on the screen, we start with this row, which consists of 2 white beads marked as A and 2 dark green beads, which are marked on the scheme with B letter. So we take one white bead, put it through the bead which stands out. We take second white bead, put it into the next free slot. And now, as per scheme, we will add 2 dark green beads. One and another one. So now we made this row with 2 whites and 2 green beads, and I hope you can see it on the video. We're switching to the next one, and that will consist of 1 yellow bead, 1 dark green, and 2 whites. Let's do it. So we take 1 yellow bead, add it to the P of the work. We take 1 dark green bead, add it, and we finish the row with 2 whites. So we've done yellow, green, white, white, we turn, and now 2 whites, light green, and 1 yellow. 2 whites, 1 light green, and 1 yellow. The next row we're going to make is the one just below. So for now, we are not doing yet petals. So we need to go from this yellow C bead into the next row, going into the black, which is marked as E letter. So we'll do black, dark green, and 2 whites. Black for the center of our flower, 1 dark green, white, and another white. So we made black, green, 2 whites, turn around, and we do 2 whites, light green, and yellow. Two whites, one light green, and 1 yellow. We turn around, our next row is yellow and 3 whites. So we take 1 yellow bead for the 4th petal of the flower, and then 3 whites. And now the last row we're going to make turning back will be white, 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 and light green. So 3 whites, 1 light green, and we will stop for now, exiting from the 4th yellow petal of our sunflower, just as I'm showing on the video. Before we will move to the petals, let us have a look at how what we've done so far is looking into the drawing scheme. So if you remember, we made first 5 white rows, and then we started making the rows with the colors. So we made 2 white, 2 greens, put our thread through our brick wall, exited. Then we made another row of 1 yellow, 1 green, and 2 whites. Again, move the thread through our work, turned around. Our next row was 2 whites, 1 light green, and 1 yellow. Next row was black, green, and 2 whites. Then another row we made, which was 2 whites, light green, and another yellow. Then we made another row, yellow with 3 whites. And finally, we made the last row so far, which was 3 whites and light green. And we exited from our work exactly as I'm showing to you right now on the drawing. Now we reached the fun part. We're going to make 2 yellow petals. So we are standing right now on this row. We exited from the light green bit, as you can see on the video, into the lower yellow petal. And now we're going to add, as it's marked on the scheme, 2 yellow bits to finish our flower with 2 missing petals. So we take 2 yellow bits at the same time, and we go backwards through the very first petal of this flower which we made. So we go backwards into our flower. Connecting the 2 petals to the sunflower, and now you can see our flower is fully shaped. And now to return to where we need to be, we go backwards through the petal, which was second, which we made. I hope you can see it on the video. Now we turn the bracelet so that it's convenient, and we go backwards through the petal number 3. And finally, we are returning to where we started, adding petals, which is petal number 4. To some extent, we made a circle out of the thread all around our flower, and we get back to the point where we need to be in order to stitch our bracelet further. Let's see how the petals added are looking into our scheme drawing. So we had this work so far. We exited from the light green into the 4th yellow petal. Then we added 2 yellow bits, which I'm drawing right now on the scheme as squares. So we added 2 yellows. We went with our thread through those 2 bits. Then we returned into the very first yellow petal, went into the second one, third one, fourth one, and we exited with our thread exactly where we needed in order to make the next row. From now on, using the scheme, you can continue making the rows. And I will meet you a little bit later at the row number 28 to show you one more time how to make the petals for the next flower, which is going to be at the right edge. So I'll see you there after we finish our next few rows. Okay, here we are at the row number 28. You see we already are at our third flower, which is already almost made. We have 4 yellow petals already stitched. Our thread goes out of the petal number 4. We take 2 beads exactly as it was in the previous part, and we go backwards into the petal number 1. And then to fix our thread, now the flower is shaped, we go backwards into the petal, which was number 2 for this flower. Here we go. And now we're returning through the petals 3 and 4. And the benefit of using the Miyuki needle is that it's actually very, very thin, and it's designed specifically to work with Miyuki Delica beads. Therefore, you can actually go for 2 beads or even 3 or even 4 beads together. So we made this last flower, and now you can keep on making your peyote bracelet until you reach the needed length. I will make 27 flowers, so my bracelet will be approximately 17 and a half centimeters long. See you soon. All right, so we made the bracelet so far, which is the needed length. And now I'm going to show you how to make the ending, the rhomb or diamond sort of ending of your bracelet. That's going to be in white. And in order to make this ending, we need to reduce the number of the beads in every next row. So let me show you how to do it. So we make one more row, the normal one, consisting of the 4 white beads. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And from here, we need to reduce the number of the beads for the next row. In order to do that, we'll do the following. So we'll go backwards 1 bead into the 1 row below, into the previous row. You go backwards like this. Then you go to the next bead on diagonal, as you can see. So that's going to be sort of your 3rd bead from the top right now. Then you're stepping up into the bead in the 2nd row on the top. And now you will exit your needle into the front or top row bead, which is standing. That gives you only 3 slots left for your next row, which means the size of our bracelet is being reduced. Now we will add 3 beads instead of 4, which was our common work so far. And at the end of this row, we're going to reduce 1 more time so that our next row is consisting of 2 beads instead of 3. So we go downwards diagonally into 2 beads, stepping up 1, and stepping up 1 more time. So we are in the row where only 2 slots are left for the beads. So we reduced 1 more time, and now our bracelet is getting narrower with every next row we make. This is the last row I'm going to make on that side of the bracelet, because I usually make the connection of the jump rings like this. So you can see on the video there are 2 beads on my last row, and there is a space between them. The jump ring will fit exactly into the space, and it will be easy to connect it to the bracelet without any hassle and without a lot of threads being visible. So in order to connect my jump ring, I repeat the same way as I was reducing, so that I'm exiting on the top bead out of 2, which is left. Now I'm putting my jump ring on my thread. And then pretty much what I'm going to do, I'm going to needle through a few beads backwards, further and backwards, so that my jump ring is connected. I usually do this like 2 or 3 times. Miyuki thread is very dense and it's actually very reliable. But again, since it's a bracelet and you're going to wear it on the hand and it's going to be like, you're going to clasp it in or clasp it out, you better repeat this operation maybe, I don't know, 2 or 3 times. I think in case of this tutorial, I decided to make 3 steps. So I'm going again upwards into the row with the jump ring. exiting in their top bead next to the jump ring, and then putting my thread through the jump ring, and again securing my thread backwards. So you see I'm going back and then returning to the row where the jump ring is, going through the beads. Delicate beads are also very reliable, very secure. You can go through them multiple times. That's why I prefer to use Delica as a bead and also Delica needle, because they sort of work very well together. And I think that's the final time I'm going through my jump ring, and all I have left to do for this end is just to secure my thread. In order to secure your thread, actually, when you're doing the stitching at the end of your job or during your job, you just go through the rows of the bead in diagonal multiple times, hiding your thread sort of in the beads. It's going to be very securely fixed, so don't worry. It's not going to be folding apart or something like that. So pretty much going multiple times back and forth through some beads. You just cut your thread. And here it is. One end of our bracelet is finished, and there is one jump ring very sort of nicely attached to this end. Now I'm going to speed up the video a little bit. I'm pretty much repeating what we've already done for our first end of the bracelet, just for you to have opportunity to watch it one more time. So we're going through the row with 4 beads first. Reducing, so going backwards 2 beads, step up 1, step up second time. Now we have 3 slots. 1, 2, 3. Again, reducing one more time. So backwards on diagonal through 2 beads, stepping up 1 time, stepping up 1 more time. And I have to apologize that I almost ran out of the white thread here. So our last row is with 2 beads. And now this is actually up to you. So as I told you already, I prefer to have these 2 beads left on my last row so that my jump ring goes into them. However, if you prefer to have your final sort of pure shape of your rhomb or your diamond, maybe that's the shape or the angle of the bracelet, you can actually use one more bead between those two. So that's the way I would usually fix the jump ring. However, again, if you prefer, you can add one more bead here in the very, very edge, the very end of your bracelet. In that case, you'll have to connect your jump ring sort of in the same plane with your bracelet. So it's all going to be horizontal, and you just use the thread and you connect your jump ring to this very last bead which you added. So now all we need to do is just to connect the clasp. So you already have your 2 jump rings on both edges of your bracelet. So you take pliers, you unfold the jump ring a little bit, and you put on that this extra ring, which came in my case together with the clasp, or you can actually add maybe 3, 4 jump rings. It's up to you, just to make your bracelet more adjustable for the future user or your customer or your friend, or beloved one. But pretty much in my case, I have 2 jump rings on one end of the bracelet. And the reason I love this hook clasp is because it's very easy to attach. So it's simply, you slide it onto the jump ring, and that is it. So the bracelet is ready. You have this very nice golden accent to your bracelet, and it's very light and very thin. Thank you very much for watching this tutorial. We hope you liked it and you liked the bracelet. It's very light, it's elegant, it's bright, it's very summer sort of feeling bracelet. It's easy to clasp and it's easy to put it onto your hand. Again, you can use the magnetic clasp as well to make it easier. It's very light on the hand. It's an eye-catching piece of jewelry. We hope you liked it, and we also hope you will leave your comments or subscribe to our channel and let us know if you want us to create more tutorials for the items which you can find on our YouTube channel. Thank you very much for watching us.